was saying that as dialogue to be in this video, like in a pretentious way. I'm just saying that to myself, and I happen to be recording, so don't get all judgmental. Unless it's pretentious to say that to myself, in which case, well, you know, I didn't have to give you the privilege of hearing me talk to myself, fucker. Who do you think you are being a camera? Really dim light from the camcorder preview screen was illuminating the surface of the bed. There's a super dim light coming into the window because there's a black curtain. The sun is only just starting to come up. It's kind of reminding me of in like 2007 when I did, like the first couple of times that I ever pulled an all-nighter. Because that kind of stupid action, I guess, is part of my identity, apparently. Computer person, but I would be in like probably the Weeble stuff, rock paper scissors, lobby chat, rock paper scissors multiplayer, and I'd be role playing, and the sky would turn gray outside, and then I'd stayed up until morning. I'd done it. In the house we moved out of in like 2008, I think. Can't remember how long I was in that house. I think I lived there in 2006. Pretty sure I did. I don't know about 2005. I can't remember that stuff by years, really. If I didn't have YouTube videos, like a couple of videos as timestamps, then I probably wouldn't even have. Okay, yeah, a video I made. I think a video I made was in like January 2007, so we must have lived there for like part of 2006, and I think it had been a while before that video was made. I found a camcorder lying around and it made like a 30-second long video. And we had 2 cats. No, we had 3 cats. Well, we had Wolverine and Tiger. I had Wolverine since the house before that one. I think Tiger came into the picture somehow when we were living in that house. I think Tiger ran away at some point, and then, well, when we moved out, I know that we gave 2 cats to the neighbors across the street. So, I can't remember who the other cat was. Maybe it was just one of Wolverine's babies or something. But we had to give our dog Molly away too. I don't remember her very well. And the only dogs we took with us were my Chihuahua Tika and the cat that my grandma gave us when she died. That was Sweetie Pie, and she was like 16 years old. She was a grouchy cat. My grandma's name was Betty. And we moved out of that house because my mom met some dude, some boyfriend named Carl. And I guess she immediately decided it was worth moving to Springfield for him. I don't know why. So I had to move really far. And Sweetie Pie went missing. And for a long time, my mom suspected, and she told me this a lot, that she thought that Carl's adopted daughter. Come to think of it, I don't remember living with Carl's adopted daughter very much. Didn't she live with us? There was me, my mom, and Carl. The daughter had to be there too, right? I have a vague memory of her, but I don't remember her very well. Did he have like? Did he only have her like sometimes? I don't remember. What was up with that? I remember. Okay, the thing was, the adopted daughter had a cat allergy, so we had to keep Sweetie Pie in the garage. So the daughter must have been around all the time, but I cannot remember her. I only remember her in Carl's house before we moved. I don't remember her in the house that me, my mom, and Carl moved to. It's like a gap in my memory. That's weird. But anyway, my mom's theory for a long time was that Carl just like took Sweetie Pie out and killed her, or like let her go in the woods somewhere, because I didn't want to deal with the allergy. I don't know. He seemed like a prick. So, maybe. I don't know. My mom was definitely a kind of vindictive person to come up with a fake accusation like that, I think. I don't really lean one way or the other, but I believed it for a while. I used to play Guitar Hero 3 in that house, and Guitar Hero World Tour, and Adventure Quest Worlds. And I remember I once saw an advertisement for Coraline on TV, and I just remember that for some reason. And there's this blue plastic thing there's this plastic toy I have, this little blue liquid that just kind of flows through it. And I think that I got that when we lived there. I went to a different elementary school for 4th grade, and I remember, I think her name was Macy. Some girl named Macy once had a crush on me. I was friends with Jason and his sister Mariah. And Jason's big sister's name I don't remember. Liked like 2009 stuff like Pawn and Z. She had like Pawn and Z printed out on her wall, and they knew what Trogdor was, and the big sister knew what I was talking about when I said the word Rafflecopter, and that was pretty crazy. That's pretty mind blowing. Pretty awesome. Pretty wow. Mm. There's a blanket blocking the camera. You can actually see the light coming through. I thought it was just too dim, but no, the camera was just up against a blanket. After we moved to the next town, when Carl left us and the whole plan fell apart, and my mom had to desperately contact some guy she knew so he could like rent out his like little cottage he lived in, and that was a very interesting home. It was out in the middle of nowhere. I had like one neighbor, and they were like 500 feet away to the left. They lived across from a forest, and it was just really cool. Those neighbors, I don't remember their names. But I borrowed a series of unfortunate events books from them, and I never gave them back. I might have given one back, but I know that I still have one of them. I think it's the one where they're in the hospital. I think it's called the Horrid Hospital or the Horrible Hospital. Those are the two titles that I would assume it is. Just not sure quite which one. Lemony Snicket could have gone either way. On the school bus at that school, at third, fourth grade school, there was a girl named Ivy who was mean, and she would always pull my hair. And for a fourth grader, she was unusually advanced in her bullying manifesto because she was like, "I have to make you tough," or something like that. But I never really cared. I just kind of sit there and like bear having my hair pulled for the whole thing. And I never really thought about it after the bus ride. On that school bus, I would often pretend to like shiny objects. Like if someone held up a penny, I would go, "Shiny, shiny, shiny," and like stare at it. That was just a joke I did. I think that Ivy might have been our neighbor. I think. I don't know. I don't know. We only went over to their house like one time ever that I can remember. We lived with a couple of dogs that the guy who owned the cottage owned. I don't know the guy's name. I never saw him or heard from him or anything. I think he was just charging us rent to live there. There were nice smells in that house. We only had dial-up internet. I spent a lot of time reading 8-Bit Theater. One time my mom went out into the backyard and... Oh, I was saying, the guy who owned the cottage had a couple of dogs, and I think some... Yeah, and one of them only had 3 legs, and his name was Tripod. Oh, one time we found puppies, and we had them for a while. I don't remember where my mom found the puppies at, but we adopted some puppies. One time one of them got stuck in the front, the little pond in front of the house. It was like part of the porch. And it was stuck and really cold, and my mom came home and found it, and it was really sad. She was so sad. Anyway, one time my mom went to the backyard, and there was this big pile of sticks that she was wanting to get rid of, so she just burned it. But it turned out that there were bunnies nesting in the sticks, and she burned them to death by accident. And she came in and talked about how she could hear the bunnies screaming. And that made me think she was evil for a little while. There's this little creek near that house that we would sometimes go to. I think at some point my stepdad was present, but he never lived in the cottage with us. That time period involved 3 of the scariest encounters with thunderstorms in my whole life, maybe. At least up to that point, and for a good while afterward. One time we were driving down the interstate at night, my mom was telling me I needed to watch for a funnel cloud to make sure one wasn't gonna form, and it didn't. But I was thinking, holy God, I hope a funnel cloud doesn't appear. Holy shit. I think that was the school where in gifted class I made something about the Bermuda Triangle, or no. Maybe it was the Hornet Spook Light. I just know we were doing stuff on like mysteries like that. Remember the gym? Remember that one girl in the coat who would take 2 of her hairs and press them against the sides of her mouth so that they went down her chin, and it made her look like a marionette puppet, and I thought that was really interesting. I think she had a crush on me too. There was this one girl who had some kind of mental disorder and would be mocked by other kids sometimes. One time I was playing a game in math class, yeah, I think it was math class, and she walked up because she thought the computer tower was the one that was hers, and she pressed the power button, and the computer shut off. And I was like, I lost all the progress in my game. And one time I tried to verbally defend her in the lunch line. And those are the only two memories I remember of that girl. One time in math class, we just watched the Chronicles of Narnia, and the teacher let anyone walk out during the scene where they kill Aslan in case they didn't want to watch that. For a while, the math teacher was pregnant. One time, she accidentally snapped and told a kid to shut up, and then she got really apologetic and she was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry, it's just the pregnancy, it can do that," kind of thing. And that ironed itself out pretty fast. Uh, 5th grade, I watched Mathematicians in math class. Read Diary of Anne Frank. I read The Westing Game. I watched 9 for the first time. On March 2nd, 2010, I celebrate Blast Off Day because the date is 3210. Blast Off. I have some friends named Jonah and Wyatt. A girl named Clarissa has a crush on me. Once after school, I'm going to the bus, and Clarissa takes my planner, and she won't give it back unless I answer a question. And she just keeps saying, "Will you go? Will you go?" Because she's too sheepish to ask, like, what I assume would be like, "Will you go on a date with me?" So she's just standing there going, "Will you go? Will you go?" And I refuse to answer. I can't remember if I keep saying I don't know or if I'm just like, "No, just give me the planner. I gotta get to the bus. Just give me the planner. Just give the planner back. Just give me the planner." And I never answered, and eventually I somehow got the planner back, and I got to the bus in time. I used to go to Saturday Night Live, but now I'd be an assistant there probably. Well, sometimes they have older people just playing the games with the kids. They all go up to the game room and play Super Mario 64. I'm playing a basketball game with Ben, and I keep missing. And whenever I miss, I say fail. And Ben says something like, "Do you use the internet?" or something like that. That's the first. One time I'm at a LAN party with Ben, and he makes some offhand comment. Like, yeah, I'm sure, well, whatever, I'm sure that 4chan is good for development. And he's like rambling to himself while he's like fixing a computer issue, and then he walks off. So he knew that the internet was gonna fuck up my development. I think he's a smart guy that I maybe should interact with. One time me and Ben went out to eat at a Chinese restaurant, and we sat in the parking lot, and he talked about how his family wanted to move to a different city, and he said, "You can either come with us, or you can stay here in this house, so we're not paying any utilities or anything." And he wanted to be with his wife a lot. Her name's Whitney, and he told me about how he didn't have electricity or water or anything. Well, I guess he had water, but didn't have heating, and it was the winter. He would just shower by taking a miserable shower with the cold water. He didn't have heating. Then he'd jump under the blanket because it was winter, and he'd cover himself in water and then take an extremely short shower and then just get under the blanket. All he had was a blanket, and now he's doing very well for himself. So, he was educating me on starting from lowly beginnings and appreciating what you got. So that's good. And one time I played games on the Oculus Rift that he has. And that's an event that happened. One time I played Rocket League. He has lots of crazy technology, you know, like a 3D printer, Chromecast, and Oculus Rift, and 4K monitor, all the Raspberry Pi, all the everything, you know. The latest tech. He actually gave me my laptop. I wouldn't have a laptop if he hadn't gave me a laptop. He just gave me it. You know, I'm a piece of shit who has a laptop for no reason. That was in... all that happened in ninth grade. Well, I mean, the first internet thing happened way before that. The LAN party happened way before ninth grade. And the first thing I mentioned was the basketball game happened way before the LAN party. Playing in the gym and then going down the stairs and talking about Jesus and watching Veggie Tales with cookies. All the veggies talk about Jesus. And one time we watched Bolt. And there was this really stuck-up little girl there who would like drink the water in the cup they gave her, and then she'd hold the cup out while lying on her back on the floor and say, "Refill." And that was funny. She was like really genuine about it. I don't know what was up with that. She was probably like parroting some TV show that she saw. Maybe. She was like 10, probably under 10. And I was probably also like 10. Children's church. Time some kid talked to me about Despicable Me. Hey, I just remembered when I went to the other church, I think some kid in the children's church asked me, when does the narwhal bacon? And I'm pretty sure this happened. And I said at midnight, and the thing was he didn't know what Reddit was. That was just a meme question to him. I can't believe I just said that. You know, he didn't know where that question came from. Well, these innocent nostalgic memories have made you pretty sympathetic for me, huh? Well, I think it's time to reveal the plot twist of this video. It's that I'm a serial killer, and I have killed about 17 people. No, I'm fucking with you. I'm just fooling. No, I've never serial killed anyone. I never toast killed anyone. I never orange juice killed anyone. I have never bagel killed anyone. Get it? Because cereal sounds like the breakfast item, and I moved to the other breakfast items. Well, there's a line through the battery icon. There's a line through the battery icon on my camcorder, so it's about to die. Guess I have to stop recording now. I'm gonna upload this whenever my dad wakes up, because he's sleeping on the couch. Okay, bye.